So for my new kind of revised YouTube channel, I'm trying to keep everything to certain days. Tuesdays are going to be a book review days. So today I'm going to do The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, because I just finished it today, so I decided why the heck not review it. Lord of the Rings. I have read the books before, and then I watched the movies, but I decided to reread them. And so it's been a while for me, and it's awesome to come back. And yeah, I have the one with Frodo on the cover with the motion picture because I had a copy of the books, and then we gave them away, and then I wanted to reread them, so I just did, these were the cheapest. They were $3, so. And I'm currently reading this one, The Two Towers, with Legolas on the cover. Oh, Legolas! But look at Frodo. Look at him. He's so cute. So, first of all, I want to say I love J.R.R. Tolkien's way of writing. I love his way of writing. It is just, I don't know how to describe it. It's really, really, really descriptive. Like, really descriptive. You know that land. You are in with Frodo. There is no way of not being inside this book. There's no physically possible way that you cannot be inside this book. And same with like The Hobbit. The Hobbit I think is my favorite out of all of J.R.R. Tolkien's books. It's my favorite. But his descriptions are really, really good. And I really enjoy how he describes things. I think that's my favorite part about these books. You're in that world with him. You're not just not. You can't not be. But I'm rambling. Let's see, what did I like about this book? Everything. Sort of. In the movie, and I totally forgot about this from after when I read the book again, but in the movie, Boromir dies in the first book. He dies at the end of the first book. I mean, movie. Boromir dies at the end of the first movie. In the book, he doesn't die till like the second page of this. And his death isn't described. Aragorn gets there, and Aragorn doesn't see any orcs. He hears them, and he comes running, and the orcs are already gone, and Boromir is just laying there. And they don't have a special speech about being brothers or anything. He's just like, you did well, bro. And then he dies. It doesn't even say he dies. He just kind of dies. So that's kind of what bothered me. I mean, it ended on kind of a happy note. I mean, Frodo and Sam leave on the boat on their next adventure. It just didn't wrap up the way I would want it to. But, I mean, these books aren't meant to be one alone. They are meant to be all together. You know, it is all one book. They just kind of split it up into other books. So I guess it makes sense. In a way. But I like how they split it up for the movies. And the movies are really accurate to these. I mean, they leave out a lot of stuff, but they're like, they even have lines in here that are exactly the same from the book to the movie. And you're like, what? Gandalf doesn't say, you shall not pass. He says, you cannot pass. Which isn't quite as epic. But I still loved that scene. And there is a guy in here. There's a guy in here. Tom Bombadil. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil is his name. And he's kind of this forest kind of guy. Kind of reminds me of, in the Hobbit movie, the brown wizard, which actually is mentioned in this book and isn't mentioned in the actual Hobbit book. He's mentioned in here, but he's just kind of mentioned that he's there. He kind of reminds me of him. he's very good with animal creatures and lives in the forest with his wife, who is a spirit of a river. And Frodo and Merry and Pippin and Sam actually meet this guy and stay at his house for a while before they move on to the Prancing Pony to hopefully meet Gandalf. They hope that Gandalf's there, but he's not. And they meet Aragorn, who actually is called Strider in the book. Well, that's his name there. He has a lot of different names. His real name is Aragorn, but they call him Strider, which is just weird. I'm just like, no, it's Aragorn. But I keep forgetting these things from reading him before because I knew his name was Strider, and then now I'm reading him again, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I think I've seen the movies too much. But again, I'm rambling. Yeah, overall, this is it's a great book. I mean, it took me forever to get through, because, I mean, it's not that big, but it's just full contents. It's so descriptive, it just takes you forever to read. But you kind of want that. Sometimes it can get annoying, but you kind of want all that detail of how the trees look and everything, because you really do get into it and imagine it and kind of believe you're there. And Frodo's not really in this book much. I mean, every once in a while it'll be from Frodo's point of view, but mostly it's, you know, from kind of a third party, kind of a narrator's stance on it, and you don't get a lot of Frodo's insights like you kind of do Bilbo's. This is, you know, The Hobbit is about Bilbo, and so you do get a lot of what he is thinking in his mind, and Frodo really isn't in this one, and in this book, he's more, you know, it's more the whole party, it's more the fellowship and everybody than Frodo. Like, even kind of at the beginning, Frodo kind of was like, it was about Bilbo more, you know, and it wasn't like in Frodo's mind, and Frodo really wasn't mentioned a lot in the book. You knew he was there, but it was like Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas and Boromir were ready to fight, you know, and Moria and everything, but you never really heard of Frodo until he got hurt, which proves still my theory. He's more in the movie than in the book. A damsel in distress. But overall, I really like this book. It's really great. I recommend you read it if you haven't. It differs from the movie enough that it's different. There are parts where you're like, wait, isn't he supposed to do this? Or if you know, seen the movie first, or you haven't read the books in a long time. But it's always a good reread. You always learn new stuff. I find out new stuff all the time. Like, you know, I learn new stuff and think about new things when I read this. Every time I read it. And that's a lot of books too. Some books you're just like, oh my god, it's the same content. But this one, not quite as much. So, yeah. That's The Fellowship of the Ring. Next week I might be doing a book from one of my AP classes, because I am currently reading this and I don't think I'll be done with this next week. I just don't think so. I'll either do an old book or one of the AP classes books I'm reading right now, which is we're reading Heart of Darkness. So if you haven't read that, I do recommend it. It is very, very deep. It's only 100 pages long of a book, but it takes you forever to get through, because it's kind of like these books, and it's very descriptive, and it has a lot of emotional content in it. But anyway, I will see you guys later. I'm just working at this way, and hopefully I'll come up with a plan for my YouTube channel and figure it all out. Alright, bye.